Hello everybody, it is John and it is time for, I guess, a weekly waffle. And what can I can waffle on about just about anything these days. What have I been doing? I've actually been going through all my trading card games. Oh God. And did I get sucked into that back in the day? No longer this little black duck, I'm afraid. But of course, most of these trading card games are all dead now. And do you think that I can get these old card games that literally nobody's playing anymore? People must be literally sitting on hundreds of, spares that they really don't need, But do you think I can get them to part with them? Unbelievable. But some of the ones that I've been looking at is like this one, Warcry by Sabertooth Games. I'll probably have a vlog maybe up eventually about this one, because they Sabertooth did this and they did a Horus Heresy one as well, which while I wasn't a great fan of the Horus Heresy one, certainly the Warcry one I loved immensely. So I'm currently going through all those, because that then led on what else is sitting around there that I'll probably have a look at. I've got the Call of Cthulhu card game or trading card game, collectible card game. And that was done by what company did that one? Oh, honestly, I can't recall. We'll just have a quick look, shall we? Who did this one? Was it Fantasy Flight Games? I don't think it was, because I know that Fantasy Flight Games were the ones that did the did they do the living card game? I'm fairly sure they did. So I'm now looking through here and having a look on the back, and I lie, it was by Fantasy Flight Games. Shows you. See, so long since I've actually looked at them. And look, I did like that at the time. But again, like with all bloody collectible card games, random. And that's what I do like about a living card game. At least it's you're not having to hope that you get something in a booster. But I think I've got it sitting around here somewhere on one of the shelves behind me. Oh, there we go, the Arkham Pound. That one. Like, I liked it, but I just couldn't keep up with all the releases coming out. So that was, so many things, too many places. So, so there was, so that was the Horus, I don't know if that's going to, there we go, Horus Heresy. And that was the little Warcry. Is that going to focus properly? Probably doesn't want to focus. I'm probably just wasting my time and going to annoy people with them going, oh look, it's not. Then there was, before the Horus Heresy, there was another, which was this one, the 40k collectible card game, of which I've got Siege of Malagrim Hive, which I think gave Dark Eldar. So I've got a Dark Eldar deck for the first version of the, because I know that a lot of people did like that first version. So it's on my list of, look, it's giving me something to do. And of course that led me on to my Star Wars. So I've been going back and having a look at the Wizards of the Coast release. I love this series more than I really like this one, but again, look, nobody plays them. However, I've got more than enough spares that I'm building. I'm just building decks and putting them in boxes and leaving them in the event that if I get around to ever going somewhere, I'll just take along all my, take them along and say, look, do you people want to learn how to play? So I have actually done I think there is a video for these coming up I don't think I've released it as of the time this waffle eventually waffles out onto the out into the wilds of the internet. Yes. So what else has been taking up my mind? Audiobooks. Oh dear, I can't get enough of them. But I tend to go for the Kindle and audiobook WhisperSync deals because they're cheaper than anything else, and I'm just a sucker for having to have both. But one of the ones that I've put on, or that I've started to collect, is this one here by what's his name, Derek Landy, the Skullduggery Pleasant. And of course, who doesn't like anybody who comes from Ireland? And while my Irish accent is well and truly nerfed these days, but that comes from, yes, that's, yeah. Even my English is degraded, I've been told. I had some people point out that my pronunciation of some words were far from correct. And hey, look, I don't have a problem. At least you're watching and listening. So thank you very much for watching and listening and pointing out my extremely poor English skills. But, you know, I was, when I was younger, did a lot of, I did speech and drama. And certainly my English, spoken English, was certainly a hell of a lot better than it's degraded to now. Comes from living at the arse end of the world and really only having yourself for company, because everything goes on in your head all the time, so you're not talking to a lot of people. Well, I'm talking to people, just people that'll get me locked up, I guess. So what else have I picked up? Well, what can I say? First impressions. I'm not impressed. I've had a few people say, what are you unimpressed about? And I said, well, the value for money is disappearing greatly with these books as they're coming out, because compared to some and the value that we're paying, like for here in Australia, we're paying, say, $60. You can get places that'll give you a discount or whatever, but generally I think the recommended price is $59.95 or something like that, or it's close enough to $60, I think, for most places. But look, for $60, I've noticed that the font size has increased. Seems to be a little more spaced out with the text and that. It just, to me, it just seems to be that there's a lot of wasted space here. It's almost like, oh well, we've really got to justify why we're charging this price. So it's 223 pages. So we sort of massage the content, shall we say, to make it fill in. So that was, it was. I guess I'm looking for value for money now, and I really don't think that the D&D books are quite hitting the mark anymore. Like, I got the coffin-shaped Castle Ravenloft release, and like that was, I got it thanks to some friends, but it was it's $120 Australian, and when I looked inside and saw what was in there, I couldn't justify $120 Australian for what was sitting in there. The fact that the book was soft cover, couldn't have given us a hardcover book to go in it. It was. I found that production to be, again, it didn't meet the spot. Now, the next thing that may very well upset some people, but I found the section, Be a Sensitive Dungeon Master. I'm sorry. Have we gotten to the stage now that we need to put up stickers and cover everything? God knows how these people would cope with such a role-playing game as H.P. Lovecraft's Call of Cthulhu, which Chaosium produce. How the hell would these little precious darlings cope with that if they're, like if they're triggered? It's I read the section to my wife and she couldn't stop laughing. So I'm sorry if you're offended, but we just look at things and think, we don't need to be told this. If you need to be told this, then clearly, yeah. Anyway, and the other thing that I guess I had a bit of angst with was the contributor bios at the back of the book. So, for instance, I have done work for a number of publications, and my name has been printed in a number of game books, and I've certainly never provided a bio about my work, nor do I expect to provide a bio for my work. I don't need people to know who I am. If they want to find out who I am, they can go look me up on the internet, or chat to me through any of the many social media if they want to know. So I just found that was I think you've opened the floodgate there, Wizards of the Coast, because quite honestly, if you've now included the contributors, then what about the interior illustrators? What about the editors? What about all the people? You could find your book, not half your book, but you can consider maybe 3 or 4 pages may suddenly disappear with just having to have bios. And to be quite honest, who really reads them? I looked at it, and out of curiosity, I read it, and I won't comment, but it just seems to be this is the way that I think our gaming companies seem to be going these days. It's listen to what the mob yells the most and do as the mob tells you, rather than actually look at where your business acumen is. Oh, aren't I an evil old man? I'll go, oh, John, you're heartless. How can you say these things? Why not? People say heartless things about old people like me. So I guess it cuts both ways. And that's just the way that the world is. So as for how the adventures are, I haven't any idea as yet, because I'm actually no longer running any Dungeons and Dragons adventures. So I purely bought the book because being the collector. So good on you, Wizards. You managed to get money out of me. You happy? But, that's just the way it is. Like, I've got it. It's sitting on my shelf if I ever get around to it. And to be quite honest, I'll read. I'll have a look at the adventures, and like any good game master, you will manipulate whatever materials are in these books, virtually in any of their publications, to be honest. You'll manipulate them to suit your games, your people. So, somebody might write something in here, and I'll go, oh, okay, well, I don't like that. I'm going to change it. I'm going to run it this way. Which, of course, annoys people who have supposedly not read the material, but have, and then call you out by going, hang on, you're not allowed to do those things. That's against the rules. And I go, well, who's running the game? If you don't like it, well, you're more than welcome to leave. But, and I do that because, some groups that I've run, certainly in the early days, where people were very rule orientated, it's going, I do this amount of damage, and hang on, according to the book, you know, this monster can only have this number of hit points. And I'm there going, well, it doesn't. Or, you know, has magic immunity. Or, you know, all these sorts of things. But, you know, that's me. And I tend to run narrative. I like to try and run narrative. I don't like to get bogged down in combat in many respects, but sometimes I think that's where a lot of games tend to. But in a lot of cases, when I have been part of a role-playing group, which has been exceedingly rare, I like to write about the adventures of my character. And I don't know if anybody has ever seen the, I think, was it Terry Gilliam or was it the other chap, I can't remember, who did the movie Baron Munchausen. Because it had Eric Idle. Eric Idle was in it, and had a wonderful cast of characters. And honestly, I'm trying to remember now who played the Baron, but because it was really good. Because I wrote in that style where, you know, it might be, you know, we ran into one goblin, and I multiplied that, say, by a factor of 10, or maybe 100. And while I didn't kill it, or kill the goblin, it might be that I might have hit it, but in my writings it'll be, I provided the critical blow, piercing the creature's heart, allowing my fellow party members to polish the creature off in fast, you know, in fast actions, you know. So it's, but you know, that's what I love to do, was just to expand and basically, well, dare I say, as Australians like to say, we like to bullshit a lot. And yes, but that's it. But yeah, look, this book, I'm quite sure some people will find this a really good book. For me, my biggest complaint really is just the value, and, you know, the font. The thing just seems to be, I don't know that we're getting what we're paying for in here, to be honest. And look, and to be quite honest, I would like ideology to be kept out of gaming, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I was talking to my son about that, and he said, oh, Dad, he said, you're going to just have to cope with this. He said, because that's the way that the world is going. He said, you can't escape it. Dear, but that's just the way things are. All right, look, I think I've rambled on long enough. I don't think there's too much that's happening. I don't know. Pippi? Pip? No. It's finally stopped raining here in along the eastern seaboard of Australia. I think New South Wales is doing the bulk of the mopping up. I've been on mop and bucket for a couple of days because I get water that comes in through this room that I'm in, actually, which is very scary considering that all my board games are in here. But again, all the shelves are at least a good 6 inches off the bottom of the floor. So I've just got to worry about humidity and obviously mildew in the long term. But it's you know, like, I come in and dust the shelves and give the old, all the board, all the games a good dusting every now and again, because it's amazing just how Queensland's weather, we have high humidity, so the games tend to be difficult to not stop spotting with mildew and whatever other fungal infections afflict anything that's of paper and board. So but yeah, we cope with that. But yes, no, the rain stopped, and his lordship Pippin has gone for a bit of a trot, and then he came back in, and he's, because all the grass is growing, and some of the weeds. So he's come back. There's a particular long grass type seed that gets stuck in his fur. So, and he doesn't like being groomed. It's a fight to groom my little man. He's not keen on being groomed. He thinks it's most undignified for a dog to be groomed. But there. Still not going to come see me, Pip? No, because he knows as soon as I call him, it means I'm going to sit up in front of the camera. I might have some little clips of him. Went for a walk up while it was raining, and I think I've got some pictures of the creek as it's flowing very nicely opposite me. But yeah. All right, look, I've rambled on long enough. I hope everybody has a good week. Mine's turning to shit, but I've got to go. We've got another bit of a breakout of COVID here, but I think it'll be well and truly contained. I don't think there'll be much in the way of an outbreak. My son got sent home from work because the business that he works in one of the major shopping centres, one of the Westfields here, he's been sent home. And, well, he's been sent to get tested, and then he's not allowed back to work until he gets a result. So, but the nice thing is that he is paid, at least while he is off. So he got sent home today at about midday. Obviously, management had come to some decision and decided that because the Westfield shopping centre was one of the places that this individual had visited, all their staff had to be tested. So they had to call in relief staff, and I'd imagine all their rosters and everything are thrown out of kilter now. But he's the only thing though is that his doctor's surgery is currently shut, so he can't get a pathology test referral done, which means that he's now got to go, I presume, and stand in the general queue. And the last time he and I both did that, I think that was about a 4-hour wait to be done, and that was in the hot blazing sun. And admittedly, that was during winter, or our winter anyway, which wasn't, that was miserable. It really is. But he can't get to see another doctor to get a referral for a pathology, because none of the other doctors will take any other person on just to issue a pathology. Oh, it's absolutely bloody ridiculous the way these doctors seem to be operating. But oh well, that's just the way it is. All right. Yes, he's not going to come. So he's just going to lie there and look at me and refuse to participate. Anyway, look, everybody, I hope your week's a good one. And I will have some vids coming up this week. Can't say what they are, to be honest, because my memory's like a sieve. So you'll have to be as surprised as I am as to what I put up. All right, well, look, thank you very much for your time, and until next time, signing off, the Honourable John.